If I was a partner of one of the downtown legal firms, I'd be called, oh, eminent counsel and this and that. They always try to dehumanize me because of my background. And what I got to say to them is always, go pound sand on a wet beach.
Thank you very much, Rocco. And it's been a pleasure getting to know Rocco through COVID, and it's been a pleasure to see people in the legal community standing up and recognizing what's going on and willing to put forth and take that abuse, take that mischaracterization. Because I see we have some media here. I'm not sure how many are here, but we've seen this in spades during COVID, is anybody who dissents from the narrative, anybody who has an alternative opinion, wants to talk about facts, they immediately go after not your facts, not your opinions, they go after you, the individual. That is become the hallmark of our mainstream media.
That's right. Who are you?
But I'm welcome and I'm pleased to have another amigo here today. Somebody who also has witnessed and experienced the attack of the mainstream media, but somebody who also stands up to it and doesn't bend for it. And in our federal parliament, like we have in the legislature, all parties are working together with COVID. Nobody is actually opposing. And I'm going to say this, our system is based on this fundamental. To get good policy, we need to have somebody who advances a policy and others who oppose it, and and there should be tension and there should be discussion and find that right balance. If there is no opposition, you cannot get good policy. There is a by-election coming up very shortly in York Centre and Toronto Centre. And we have two candidates running in those by-elections who will speak up, who will oppose, who will offer good, thoughtful, insightful discussion and debate on things. We are missing a voice for us in the federal parliament as well. And I'm pleased to endorse and support the candidacy of Baljet and Maxime Bernier for the PPC party. We need their voices.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. It's a nice day. It's a very nice day because for us, there's no new normal. I'm here with normal people fighting for our rights and our freedoms. And we are saying to the Trudeau government, to the provincial governments all across the country, that we want to be able to see our friends, to see our family without any lockdowns. We want to be able to reopen our businesses. We want our life back. We want our freedom back.
Back to normal.
And back to normal, yeah. And what happened right now in Ottawa and in Quebec and here in Toronto, we have politicians that are afraid of the truth. They don't want us to know what is COVID-19. We know that it's a virus, but the biggest virus right now, it's the socialism. That's the biggest virus. It's very, very, very important that our people all across the country understand that. We have the Trudeau government that is locking down our businesses and after that giving subsidies to businesses, but that's not what entrepreneurs want. What they want to be able to do business. They want to be able to be open. And we don't have that money. Who's paying for all these huge deficits? Right now, it's the Bank of Canada. The Bank of Canada is funding these huge deficits. But we will have to pay for that. At the end, printing money out of thin air will have a cost for everybody. That's called inflation. And inflation is a hidden tax, the worst of all taxes. And we have a lot of inflation right now when you go and buy your grocery, about 4%. That inflation will come because in Ottawa, in Quebec, in Toronto, they don't have the courage to tax you for all these spending. They're using the Bank of Canada, and at the end we will pay by this inflation that is coming. So we must stop all these spending and buying votes with money that we don't have. So let's stop that and be back to our normal life. That's what we want.
Back to normal.
And I encourage you to support us, to support the PPC, because we are fighting for our values, our freedom, our personal responsibility. We know that we are responsible people, and we want our government to look at us as responsible people. That's the most important. So if you want that, for this by-election, if you are living in York Centre or Toronto Centre, Baljeet is our candidate in Toronto Centre here downtown. Just vote for your values and send a strong message to the Trudeau government that we don't want any lockdown. We want our life back. We want our freedom back. That's why we are fighting together. And I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting politicians like Randy that is fighting for you. And I feel it. We are not alone. With you and a lot of Canadians all across the country, the silent majority is with us right now. So let's go and fight for our freedom. Thanks.
Thank you, Max. So I'm going to wrap things up a little bit. I'll give out one more word of encouragement to Dodgy Doug to come on over here and issue a summons. But we'll see if he shows up, because we're going to stick around for a few minutes and take some time to meet and greet and chat with people. But I'm going to end off with this. I think, when we talk about our freedoms, and Max mentioned this, the flip side of freedoms are our responsibility. Okay? And we are responsible people. We are thoughtful people. We're compassionate people. Canadians are held in high regard worldwide, not because of our governments, but because of us, because of you and I and all of us. That's why we're held in high regard. We are responsible people. We're compassionate people. And we see this attack on our freedoms often comes through the back door of responsibilities, where they take away our responsibility for our own health. And we've seen that this year pretty clear. You are not responsible for your health now. The state is responsible for your health. They take away our responsibility to care and love and express affection for our loved ones when they're sick and elderly and in a long-term care. That's our responsibility. That's not the state's responsibility. I need to have that freedom if I have my mother or father, or anybody has their mother or father, that they can tend to, or their spouse. And we look through, the education of our children. I've got grandchildren in school now. It is terrible to see what we're doing with our kids. That we're telling them that it's too dangerous to be beside or with their classmates and their friends, that they may infect them. They may infect their mom and dad. and we're terrorizing our children. And, you know, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. But they go after our freedoms by making us believe that government is more responsible than ourselves. I have faith, I have confidence, it will never waver, it will never shake, that here is where we find common sense, here is where we find responsibility. If you want to go somewhere where there's no common sense, that building right there. In Ottawa as well. If you want to find some place where there's no responsibility, that building right there. The responsibilities are found in our homes and in our families. But we know that Doug Ford, Justin Trudeau, and all parties are looking at COVID through the lens of re-election. They're looking at public opinion polls, etc. We have a job to do. And we can do it, and we will do it, because there is no losing this battle, in my view. We cannot and will not lose. We need to encourage our friends, our families, our neighbors, everyone, our workmates, to think about the consequences of what we're doing and take us back away from this dangerous path that we're on. Let's have thoughtful policies that protect our freedoms, restore our responsibilities, and maybe, just maybe, I might be asking a little too much, but make those people accountable for what they have done and the tragedy that they have caused. Let's work together and we will win. Thank you very much.